Hello again. Alright, so this new example I've given you is a function that's a little more descriptive than just an algebraic expression. So I've defined f of t, not f of x. Now our independent variable, our input, is going to be a t value, not an x value. I've said f of t is the outside temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, t hours after 6 a.m. So the value that t is going to represent is the number of hours after 6 a.m. So if you let t be 1, then what time would it be? 1 hour after 6 a.m. would be 7 a.m. If we let t be 6, it would be 6 hours after 6 a.m., which would be 12 noon, 12 p.m. Alright, so let's do this first problem. It says find f of 0 is 58. Tell us what f of 0 equals 58 means. So 0 is going to be the value of our input. So this f of 0 is telling us t equals 0. And we know what t equals 0 means. It's 0 hours after 6 a.m. So it means, you're right, 6 a.m. And f of t, whatever the function f of whatever the value is, it is equal to the outside temperature. So since we're seeing f of 0 is 58, the 58 is representing what the outside temperature is in degrees Fahrenheit. So the meaning of this is 0 hours after 6 a.m. We would just say that's 6 a.m. So we would say this means at 6 a.m. it's 68 degrees outside. That's what that would mean for us. So the next example I gave said to find f of 6, or find the meaning of f of 6 is equal to n. So again, this 6 is telling us what our input is. Our input is t, the number of hours after 6 a.m. So this is telling us t is 6. So when t is 6, we're 6 hours after 6 a.m. So 6 hours after 6 a.m. is at 12 o'clock. You could say 12 o'clock noon, or you could say 12 p.m. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then we have to express what this equals n is. And again, remember I told you, this is the function. The function is equal to n. The function is equal to the outside temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So this is kind of weird, because here we had a number, here we have a variable, but it means the same thing. So it's at 12 p.m. it is, yes, n degrees Fahrenheit outside. And sorry, I forgot my apostrophe in that it's. Now the last part of this problem is asking us to explain what it means if we see f of 3 is less than f of 9. If we see f of 3 is less than f of 9, this is telling us a time where t is what? 3 hours after 6 a.m. So that's telling us, that's saying 9 a.m. Here, this is telling us a different time value. It's still the function f of t. That's now a new t. The t is 9. 9 hours after 6 a.m. Well, in my mind, when I'm trying to figure out what does it mean 9 hours after 6 a.m., I always try to figure out, because time, we tell it in groups of 12, I try to figure out how many hours it takes me to get to noon, because I can see 6 hours after 6 a.m. is noon. So 6 hours, it leaves me with 3 hours left. If I think of that 9 as 6 plus 3. So the 6 added to the 6 a.m. gets me to noon, and then 3 more hours means 3 p.m. So that's what that 9 is indicating. So we're looking at a function evaluated at 9 a.m. and the function evaluated at 3 p.m. The function tells us outside temperature. This is less than means the temperature here is less than the temperature here. So when we put it all together in words, we say it's colder outside at 9 a.m. than 3 p.m. Or if you wanted to be a little more literal in your interpretation, you could say the temperature at 9 is less than the temperature at 3. But that's all that means is it's colder outside at 9 a.m. than 3 p.m.